What is up, my Hans family, and welcome to Hansaween, which is 31 tutorials in the month of October, meaning a new video every day. Today is my rendition on Pennywise from It. I know this is not an exact version of Pennywise, but I wanted to do just a little bit of an inspired look, kind of make it my own. Pretty much just a creepy-ass clown. Let's just get real. Product details will be listed down below, as well as Halloween tips and all that jazz, and let's do it. I have a bald cap already applied to my face, and I'm going to start by gluing down my brows. I do so with a washable glue stick by pushing my brows up and in the direction that they grow. I do it in layers, and between every layer I always use a little bit of water to smooth it down. This is absolutely my holy grail way to glue down brows. It's the shit. This bald cap was pretty terrible, so I had to blend it in quite a bit. I used a couple layers of liquid latex just to do so it blended into my skin. Figure out where you do want your teeth to lay. I made these out of Elymorph, which is just polymorph plastic. I still want to be able to open my mouth and to eat and drink. Sketch out where you want the mouth. I went again with the kind of It-inspired shape. And using white cream paint, I completely cover my entire face and my bald cap. Now, liquid latex does take paint differently than just your normal skin, which is totally fine because you'll just have to layer it up on your normal skin a little bit, just so that it matches the latex side as much as possible, and set everything with a ton of translucent powder. This will kind of mute out the color a little bit, which is okay with me, and then just intensifying the high points of the face with more cream paint on top. Layering on top of translucent powder is awesome because the translucent powder basically gives you a second base to work on top of, so that next layer of cream paint you put on is extra opaque. Set all of that with some white eyeshadow, and dipping into my 3rd degree, it's a silicone compound, you mix part A and part B. I added a little bit of white cream paint to it to make it blend a little easier into my skin. I use a spatula to put it to my face, and then dip it in a little bit of 99% alcohol so that I can blend out the edges as much as possible so it looks nice and realistic. I'm doing it this way because I wanted these to be the lips, and I wanted a first general base because for the teeth to lay properly on top, they do need a little bit of a mound to sit on top of. They don't really just sit onto our skin properly. You have about 8 to 10 minutes or so of working time with this, and you don't need to use glue with it. It just adheres right to your face. Fill that open, gaping mouth with some cream paint. I'm mixing some black and red together, and then set that because we don't want it to be shiny. You can still see my lip piercing, and some of you guys ask, why don't you just take out your piercings, Jordan? Because ain't nobody got time for that. To adhere the teeth down, I'm using some Pros-Aid, finding out exactly where I want them. You let the Pros-Aid dry clear, and then just setting them down. You could use any adhesive you want, but Pros-Aid is super strong, so I like it. I wanted the larger sharp teeth to be in the center, and as they cascade out into the edge of the smile, them to be a little smaller, and all to be curving inward. They were sticking okay, but for a little extra stability, I did add a little bit of liquid latex around the edges just so that they would stay in place. Also painted around the teeth with a little bit of mauve alcohol paint. These will act as the gums. And it's really just so that these show under the second layer of silicone. This is another layer of the 3rd degree that I'm putting down. Added white, this isn't white, added red cream paint to give that signature red bright lip that he has, and layering it right on top. You can see I'm working in sections, and I'm kind of letting one dry a little bit and then moving on to the other side, going back and adding more. And that 99% alcohol, man, it really will help smooth out those edges as much as possible. Because what I'm doing is pretty much just covering the shape I already made, but now making it red. Paint the teeth yellow, obviously. Love yellow teeth for some reason. And just so that the lips don't look so flat, they looked like wax lips to me, I added a little bit of red alcohol paint around the edges and underneath the top lip, just so that the top lip obviously looked like it was on top. Towards the root of the teeth, mix a little bit of yellow and brown paint together to make them look super aged and nasty. and keep darkening that even further until you have some super dark brown right under the lips. Highlight the tips of the teeth with white. And I am adding a little bit of a glossy highlight as well to these, but I do take this off eventually, so you can just disregard that. Though it doesn't really have much of a contour going on, I have to have some kind of a contour going on. So I'm just stippling this around, and again, latex will take it differently than your skin, so you may have to layer a bit. With red yarn, I wanted to use this technique on my skin. I know that Powda has used it quite a bit. It's pretty awesome. I'm putting down a little bit of Prozaid and then taking the red yarn in little pieces to give a veiny look and just pushing down the Prozaid on top. You can also do this with liquid latex. Though most of this gets covered up with blood soon anyways, I still think it gives a really cool effect underneath everything. I focused more so on one side, obviously, and then took a stippling sponge and some red paint just to start a little bit of a blood splatter look, and added some bloody drips coming from the lips down. With a dry brush and some water activated paint, I splatter on some more extra bloody paint and darken around the edges with some red and black mixed together. When it comes to the brows, really take your time and look at a mirror and keep looking back and forth to make sure when you are drawing the second one on that it is placed in just about the same position. Use a small detail brush as well just so that you can get the perfect lines you don't have to try to clean up. I'm squinting my eyes a bit just so that I can get underneath my eye in this little wrinkle here and intensify that, and still using these patting motions just to grunge up and distress this look. I want this makeup to look kind of worn in. With black body paint, draw some lines coming from the middles of your eyes. Since I had the black paint out, I just darkened right under the lip. If your bald cap is still really showing through, a little trick you could do that I did is just add a few little lines to pretend that it's wrinkles, but really it's just to hide the bald cap. And with a black eyeshadow, I'm adding a liner all around the eye, keeping it kind of downturned because that will give more of a sad clown appearance. We need a creepy ass clown nose. I'm using Model Magic for this and just putting it on my nose to see exactly how I want the shape, taking it off and taking off all my makeup with it. You should let this dry, but unfortunately I just didn't have time. I put down some Prozaid and then just stuck that right on top. It's okay if it is used wet, it still works just fine, but I would still just suggest having it dry anyways. Paint this with some red body paint. Its nose isn't a perfect circle, so I brought that down onto the nostrils a little bit, darkened around the edges with a little bit of a darker red paint, and added a white highlight for extra dimension. This red crepe hair is from Amazon. I had never really worked with crepe hair before too much, but it's really cool. I just cut off a little bit and added a little Prozaid to the bald cap and then put some pieces down. I wanted some sparse ass nasty hair with my bald spot showing. It's really cool because it gives just this realistic hair effect, and it's pretty soft so it's not irritating to the skin or anything, and it just gives this perfect wispy beautiful combed over look that just, I don't think I've ever looked sexier in a look before. Add some more texture around that huge old bald spot that we have showing. This is just to show some age spots and broken blood vessels. Popped on my costume that I just got from Amazon and splattered some blood all over. Finally putting a little bit of coagulated blood from Mayron inside the mouth. This blood doesn't exactly set, it stays pretty syrupy, but if you just use a little bit, it works. And that is the entire look. I really hope you guys liked it. I had a lot of fun doing it. Doing the little intro and the creepy shots is fun. Doing scary intros is always the best. Thank you so much for watching. Use the hashtag Halloween if you want me to see any of your recreations or just to check out your work. I love the fuck out of you guys. Stay safe this Halloween, and I'll see you tomorrow.